Hello, class 5 children. A very good morning to all of you. I hope all of you are keeping fine with your parents. So please stay safe. Okay, so what's on the screen? What do you see on the screen? Okay, very good. That you can see a children or student and a teacher, right? So what do you think? Where are they? They are in the classroom. Okay, so what do you think they are doing? Okay, they are discussing on some topic, right? And maybe the teacher had asked some question, and the children, the student here are raising their hands to give their answers. Okay, and you can also see that some of the students are not raising their hand. They are just staying quiet in the class. Okay, so what do you do when the teacher asks any question to you? Do you raise your hand and give answers? Or do you stay quiet in the class? I know some of the students they hide their face behind their friend in the class, and some they don't give any answers, and some are very active in the class and they give all the answers whether they are right or wrong. They just give their answers, they just express their feeling and opinion and suggestions whatever they have, right? So related with this, today we are going to learn a poem on classroom discussion. Okay, so here it is. English class 5 unit 6 class discussion. Okay, first we are going to read the poem here. Okay, before reading, let me introduce you this person. He is a poet of this poem classroom discussion, and his name is Jervis Finn. So he was born and brought up in England. Okay, so right now he exists in this world, and he is writing a lot of storybooks and poems for the children. Okay, he was a teacher and a retired teacher, and nowadays he is doing a job or publishing a book, and also a visiting professor in few of the college there in England. Okay, so okay, he had made more than 20 storybooks for the children. Okay, so you can just go through any Googles, you will get a lot of storybooks in Google. Okay, okay, so let's read the poem here. Okay, class discussion. In the class discussion, Jane, you hardly said a word. We all aired our opinions, but from you we barely heard. You sat and stared in silence, surrounded by the chatter. Now tell me, Jane, and please be plain. Is there anything the matter? Jane looked up and then she spoke. Her voice was clear and low. There are many people in this world who are rather quiet, you know, by Jervis Finn. Okay, now we are going to read this poem again, and now I'm going to explain the situation here. Okay, okay, class discussion. In the class discussion, Jane, you hardly said a word. We all aired our opinions, but from you we barely heard. Okay, in this uh, stanza, we can say that in the class, the teacher and the student are discussing on some topic, and the teacher wants to know that Jane is very uh, quiet and she is not expressing her opinion. So everyone is expressing their suggestions, opinions, answers in the class, but Jane hardly said a word. Okay, hardly said a word here means she is not at all talking in the class and telling the answers in the class. So teacher asked Jane that you are not at all expressing any opinion in the class. So he also wants to know what has happened to Jane. So here you sat and stared in silence, surrounded by chatter. Here it means you are sitting quiet and staring at everyone in silence, whereas all the other students are making their noise or expressing their answers in the class by shouting. Okay, so chatter here means talking a lot in the class. Okay, now tell me, Jane, and please be plain, okay? Be plain. Plain here means be clear to answer, okay? He was asking to Jane, please tell me something. Is there anything that happened to you? Why don't you speak in the class? So teacher wants to know why Jane is not speaking or not talking in the class. She's silently staring to everyone and she sat quietly, okay? She is not at all answering any of their teacher's question, or she was not expressing any opinion or any suggestions in the classroom. Okay, so let's see what Jane is giving the answer. Look, Jane looked up and then she spoke. See, she's now going to speak, okay? Her voice was clear and low. Okay, her voice was clear and low. Here means she is politely going to give the answer. Okay, there are many people in this world who are rather quiet. Okay, so what is the answer that she had given? She had given the hint to the teacher that in the world so many people are there, and most of the people, they used to stay quiet. So it shows that she is very quiet by nature. So she doesn't want to talk to anyone of the student in the class, even to the teacher, because she was quiet by nature. Okay, so here she said that you are rather quiet, who are rather quiet, means she is giving the hint to the teacher that she is a quiet by nature. Okay, so let's see the new words in this poem, and I have also given the sentence examples here. Okay, let's read discussion, talking together in a group on a single topic. Okay, so the meaning here I have given is also given in your textbook also. Okay, a healthy discussion is a good way to learn new thing. Okay, a healthy discussion is a good thing. So talking about a good um, thing is a very uh, good for or good to learn something new, right? So aired here is make public, to express or to talk something in the public. Okay, in the public, in the sense in front of many people. Okay, nowadays COVID-19 disease updates are regularly aired in the news, as we can see this news every day in our television or any social media uh, thing. Okay, next, barely, only just. Shy children barely interact in the class. So most of the shy children, they very hardly interact in the class. Means barely means just, only just. Okay, very rarely they used to talk in the class. Stare, look fixedly with eyes wide open. Stare means looking at everyone. Okay, like this. Rahul continued to stare at the bus outside the window when When we used to travel in the bus, we used to stare outside the window, right? Stare here means to look at. Okay, so the new words given in your textbook is here. The meaning are also there, the same thing. Talking together in a group on a single topic. Aired, make public, barely, only just stare, look fixedly with eyes wide open. Okay, plain here is clear, her clear voice, right? And then the question and answer here. What activity was going on in the class? What is the activity that's going on in the class? It's a class discussion, right? About any topic that discussed in the class. The class discussion is going on in the class. Okay, who was the quiet one in the class? So obviously it's Jane. Jane was the only one who was the quiet in the class. Why was she quiet? Okay, now you can choose anyone from here. She was afraid to air her opinion. She hated the noise. She didn't like the activity. She was quiet by nature. Okay, which one is that? Okay, the last one. She was quiet by nature. And the fourth one, you have to do it by yourself. Okay, how do you interact in the class during discussion? Do you participate or remain quiet? Okay, now this one you have to do it, and um, be honest to yourself. Okay, okay, now we are going to read one by one in the class. Okay,